Hip-hop, born in 1970s New York, embodied inner-city struggles. Its raw, unfiltered voice spoke for many in the community. Initially flying under the radar as an underground movement, hip-hop boasted its four essential elements: DJing, MCing, breakdancing, and graffiti. These elements weren't just about self-expression. They became threads weaving people and communities together, creating an unstoppable force of culture. Dismissed as a passing trend, hip-hop gained traction, notably after Sugar Hill Gang's Rapper's Delight and The Breaks by Curtis Blow, Planet Rock by the Soul Sonic Force. During its peak, this genre of music held the distinction of being the most popular worldwide. However, it is currently experiencing a decline it once possessed. This raises the question, what are the reasons behind this decline? As the genre gained mainstream success, many fans began to perceive a lessening of its authenticity due to corporate influence driven by profit. The commercialization of the genre resulted in a diluted and repetitive sound, lacking the originality raw power that it was known for. Numerous rap fans not only expressed concerns about the content of the music, but also the personal lives of many young artists within the industry. Unfortunately, several emerging talents in the hip-hop genre have encountered legal entanglements, violence, drug overdoses, and criminal involvement, which have significantly impacted their careers. From Casanova and Young Thug current legal issues, to several rappers being killed. Pop Smoke was tragically killed in a home invasion in February 2020. Takeoff from the Migos was shot and killed at a dice game back in 2022. Many of these challenges have been long-standing issues in the music industry, but what sets the current situation apart is that these issues are now considered the norm and even encouraged. One could make a case that the current state and decline of this genre can be attributed to a prioritization of profit over the preservation of its authentic essence. However, in this video, I will demonstrate that the decline extends far beyond mere financial gains or losses. In 1982, Grandmaster Flash and the Furious Fives released the song The Message. The song was filled with social commentary, showcasing hip-hop's power beyond dancing and entertainment. It showed how rap music could educate and inspire change in urban communities. This got the attention of the power structure. Recognizing the profound influence this music could have on knowledge and information, it became evident that it had the potential to disrupt and undermine their plans that they had in place to destroy and undermine community development efforts. In the 1970s, following the riots of the 1960s, a decision was made by the power structure to dismantle numerous black communities. They had dedicated significant time eliminating black leaders, substituting them with the ones they had control over, and getting rid of underground social organizations and replacing them with gangs, moving urban jobs overseas, implementing cost-cutting measures for social programs. Absentee slumlords neglected proper maintenance of their properties, which contributed to the decline of urban areas. Banking institutions engaged in the process of replacing black-owned businesses with other ethnic groups. Additionally, they inserted illicit drugs into the community, further exacerbating the situation. They knew the introduction of this influential music had the capability to disrupt all of their plans, leading them to implement a strategic approach commonly referred to as the good cop, bad cop campaign. On one front, during the early stages of rap music, they utilized individuals to engage in conversations that dismissed rap as a passing fad, questioning its artistic merit. They argued that rap lacked the complexity and musicality found in other genres, such as rock or classical music. Simultaneously, they strategically started inserting individuals inside the culture to gain control and shape the narrative. Rock and roll music, since its inception, has often been regarded as counter-establishment music. As rock music became a prominent force in global westernized pop culture, has coincided with a significant increase in youth suicide rates. By the mid-1980s, there was growing criticism from both parents and politicians regarding its influence on the rise of suicide rates among young white individuals. In 1983, a study made by Metropolitan Life Insurance Company found that the suicide rate among teens rose 50% from 1952 to 1962. It rose another 200% between 1962 and 1982, with as many as 500,000 teens attempting suicide each year. Between 1980 and 1995, the suicide rate doubled again for youth ages 10 to 14. By 1987, suicide had become the second leading cause of death among youth ages 15 to 18 after automobile accidents. Many rock songs during this time glorified suicide. Kamikaze Clones' song, Death Can Be Fun. Sting, Consider Me Gone. Blondie, Die Young, Stay Pretty. Because the majority of these deaths involved young white kids, political figures exerted mounting pressure on the music industry associated with the rock genre. As a result of the impact of rock and roll on impressionable youth, their objective was to elevate hip-hop to the forefront of pop culture while minimizing the prominence of rock and roll. Music professionals from the rock and roll industry and other genres who had a deep understanding of the influence music has on young, impressionable minds were brought into hip-hop. This served a dual purpose, eliminating the negative aspects of rock and roll music and increasing the control of hip-hop. These professionals also held valuable connections with major music labels and corporations. By involving big labels and corporations, one can operate with a certain level of immunity, as any action taken can be justified as being done with the intent of generating profits. In a song, Build and Destroy by rapper KRS-One, he rhymes this line, "Everyone outside that culture is a vulture. The vulture makes money on the culture." Many true hip-hop fans considered outside forces that make money of the music as culture vultures. A culture vulture are individuals who show profit-driven interest in a particular culture and may exhibit an inauthentic interest in the culture and are primarily motivated by financial gain. These music professionals that were put in position to control the hip-hop culture, they differ from culture vultures. They work on a different level, not only focusing on profit, but controlling the money that comes from the major labels and what artist will receive it, and in turn control the artist and the music content that gets to the audience. This is why they're called the culture controllers. Once the controllers had full control, we witnessed the rise of the use of the N-word and the B-word, more violent themes in the music, criminal behavior, drug-related content, and the glorification of lavish lifestyles, where artists often showcase their wealth, material possessions, and extravagant experiences in their music and music videos. From luxurious cars and designer clothing to extravagant parties and opulent mansions. While some may argue that the artist is just exercising their form of expression and should not be held responsible for society ills, others emphasize the need to be mindful of the messages they convey and their potential impact on vulnerable audiences. While I strongly believe that every artist has the right to express themselves through their music, it is crucial to consider the actions of those who seek to manipulate and control cultural narratives. These individuals deliberately target young black individuals who they believe align with their negative agendas. They sit in their offices and decide who will be the next star. A powerful illustration of how they construct their prototype can be found in the film Hollywood Shuffle, where a scene demonstrates how these controllers handpick and control what they want.
Bobby, I need a little more black. You know what I'm saying? Like, stick your ass out, bug the eyes. You know how they move, you know?
Yeah, jive ass.
After watching this scene, all one has to simply change the "I need a little more black" to "I need a little more gangster." Unfortunately, them needed a little more gangster has resulted in a rise in criminal situations and arrests among these so-called rappers. You should know something is wrong with your music when your artist needs street cred. It's supposed to be about the music. See, these controllers were smart. They strategically positioned themselves behind the scenes. They didn't want to get their hands dirty. Enter the urban CEO with independent labels, some of which have ties to gangs, drugs, and street associations that the controllers were well aware of. This serves a couple of objectives. Firstly, it provides young black men with the opportunity to witness individuals from their own communities who were involved in criminal activities achieving success. In a sense, this may convey the message that engaging in illegal activities and harming one's own community is acceptable. Secondly, there was an intentional effort to put a black face on who is controlling the chaotic music industry. The first sign that hip-hop was in trouble should have been when it lost its balance. In the next part, I will focus on how they created the imbalance and the rise of the black gangster CEOs.